Hey YouTube, my name is Gawd, and you're watching Gawd Cafe. So, today we're going to talk about Mars in the 12th house. I am a Mars in the 12th house native, so this video I know so well, or this placement I know so well, so you're in store for this video. Mars in the 12th, we got such a bad rep, don't we? Why we get a bad rep is because we have access to spiritual fuel, spiritual strength, spiritual strength, right? So, and this house encompasses so much. This is also the house of surrendered action. So a lot of the times when taking action, if you haven't noticed, going against the grain never works to your benefit. Being in flow always will, because this is the house of Pisces, the 12th house. So you have Mars taking action, because Mars is a planet of action, willpower, and strength. So you have these traits within the house of spirituality, illusions, creativity, empathy, and love. That's just very Piscean, Neptunian energy. So when you have Mars here, Mars is a little maybe thrown off being here. Mars is having a hard time understanding why it can't just go. And when Mars is ready to go, it seems as though everything outside of it isn't ready for it to go. It could very much so feel like you're always trying to catch up and you're so far from catching up. And what I would say about this placement, what your best bet is to look at taking action kind of like, being okay that you're like maybe a little too late to catch opportunities when everyone can. But to kind of be smart, like I kind of keep seeing opportunities down the stream and like, Mars in 12th house, like folding hands, like how do I just jump on the opportunity? Everyone's just jumping on an opportunity. And because you're like having such a hard time figuring out how to just jump as fast as everyone, you're realizing, well, maybe I could like jump like a little slower if I walk closer to the, let's pretend that the river expands as it comes out, and at the beginning of the river is a little bit more narrow and more land than water, so it's a little bit easier to maybe hop on what's going down the stream, right? So let's have this visualization. So Mars in the 12th house would look at the stream of opportunities. Let's pretend lily pads are the opportunities, and all these lily pads are going down and everyone's hopping on a lily pad like a frog, and you're like, I can't really hop that far like everyone else. I feel behind. Like, what the fuck? Everyone's just leaving me here. Like, that's very much so this energy. Until, because of this, your awareness to life is different. Now you're seeking for the opportunities that would be for you, rather than the opportunities that are, there for most of us or all of us, kind of like more so looking at particular opportunities that suit you. So in this case, looking at the lily pads going down the river, one with Mars in Cancer in the 12th house, not Cancer, but that's my placement. I ratted myself out. But one with Mars in the 12th house, right? Would have to kind of like eyeball early on, wait, that lily pad is real huge, and if I try to jump on it, even if I'm a little off, it'll catch me. And that looks like the best opportunity, and no one's spotting it because it's not in front of them. So now your perspective to life is like a little bit more thorough. You're gonna look a little bit over here because like you're not doing well doing it the way everyone else is doing it. That's very much so Mars in the 12th house. So this is surrendered action. Kind of like accepting what is so that you can more work with it and figure out how to get on board still. It's going to look different because you're not operating in the normal way that others do, perhaps. And do not let this make you feel a type of way. You should look at this as being very unique without trying, okay? And in a world today where everyone's trying to stand out, you have to see how this is a big factor in making you stand out. No one can ever anticipate your moves because not even you know what the hell you're going to do next. This is a very spiritual placement for that reason. It's almost as if the more you surrender to action, the more spiritual action you take. The more you cause, what's the fucking word that starts with the R? The more you cause, fucking can't think of the word now. The more you cause, fucking not restraint. What the fuck is the word? Where you cause retraction? No, it's not retraction. You guys probably said the word before I did. Okay. And now I lost my whole train of thought trying to figure out this damn word. The more you're not in flow, basically, the more you're in a negative frequency. Got me a little flustered there. You probably go through this too. Anyway, so if you are constantly comparing your action to others, this is like a big one, the biggest one of them all, you will by default entertain lower frequencies of thought and become a lower frequency person. So you do not want that. You want to see that because you can't, operate on a human level the same way sometimes, you have to see how you're a lot more of a spiritual warrior in this life, if that makes sense. And to kind of really exercise that co-creator gift that you have more access to than perhaps your average individual who has Mars in a regular house that caters to this third dimension. You have Mars in a house that caters to the spiritual realm, so it's action not seen. It's unconscious action. It's trauma working. If you're able to, you have the strength to kind of terminate the issues that come about holding on to trauma. You'll be able to, I don't have that trauma no more. Now I understand why I had that trauma. Now because you have this deep spiritual understanding as to the actions taken in your life and others around you, it gives you this sort of spiritual understanding that in turn creates motivation and in turn makes you want to take more action, although it seems as though it's very hard to take action with this house. If you ever feel like you're not able to take action for whatsoever, understand that perhaps you're not exercising a spirituality, or you're not having enough me time that you will need. You need the isolation in order to rest and restore and be able to be present for others. Now let's talk about intention. Now, in this house, if you do not place an intention, the spiritual realm will place an intention for you. This is working with Pisces and Neptune energy. Being that this is a spiritual realm, you do not want intentions placed onto you because you will act out of lower frequency when you are not placing an intention yourself. Why? The spiritual realm likes to laugh, and there's dark forces there, right? Because that's the spiritual realm. It encompasses all, right? So, there's going to be moments where you're this angel for someone, a stranger, and you say something so magical and powerful, you didn't even think about saying it. It just came out your mouth because you're connected to spirit. And you're like, wow, I really said that? Wow. And they're like, wow, I needed to hear that. You're almost like, what the fuck did I say? Can you tell me what I... And sometimes it's a little weird like that, where it's magical that way, where you're literally will say something that caters to someone's personal experience, and it's scary for them, but you have no idea how in-depth this means to them, because you're not supposed to. It's surrendered action. You're doing God's work on a different level, you know what I mean? More so than your average person. Of course, this is accessible to all of us. However, when you have the planet of action in the house of spirituality, what's the math there? You know what I mean? So anyone can say what they want. Oh, I have that too. Not on the level you do, and you know that. So don't let anyone also try to dub with, oh, I don't know about the astrology shit. Don't even show no one this video. Just hear it for yourself. You do not need to. That's another thing too, indecisive action. Oh my God, this house will make you indecisive because it's a house of Pisces. So it's two fish swimming opposite directions, seeing the same visual two different ways. So this makes indecision very prominent here. And that's why an intention needs to be set, so that the indecision, when it comes, doesn't deter you from the intention you set. If there's an intention set, you know what it is that you want, you know what it is that you're focused on. Reaching a decision when confronted with some sort of confusion or multiple options won't be as difficult, because if you have an intention at the front of your brain, then you're not going to be as like loopy about making that decision in a weird way, right? Because this is suspended action, Mars in the 12th house. Anything that Neptune touches, it dissolves. So Neptune will forever vibe. Neptune will forever be a stream of water. So making an intention allows you to remain Neptunian while taking action, but being intentional, and maybe perhaps just not regretting or having any self-sabotage, because this is also the house of self-sabotage with actions. You'll do so good and then it takes a few steps back because of an emotional outrage. Things not going as expected. Your impatience. Oh, this is a big one for us here. Impatience. And that's why diving into spirituality will aid you in taking the right course of action and not entertaining lower frequencies. Now, what also makes this placement powerful is that being that you have to constantly, I can't fucking talk right. Being that you constantly have to, anything else is mad too. Like, that's another thing. My tongue not working, work. We get a little like, straighten up, and that's okay. As long as you know yourself, you're not letting people tell you about yourself. That's another thing. So no one's going to understand you. Like, come on, you got this damn placement. You think you're supposed to listen to what other people have to say, like, for you, like, in terms of, like, what you should be doing with action. Come on, how would they understand this placement? Like, I had to tell myself that a long time ago. Like, there's a reason why people are like magnetic towards me and keep coming to me. But want to tell me how I should move? Bitch, then why you here? You love me. I love ya. So I don't have to negotiate what my actions are doing. Because the thing is, in this world, right, it's normal. Everything outside of us will present itself a little bit as an enemy, because the spiritual realm is trying to access our loved ones to kind of trigger us, because we are gifted with such power that for us to know it would be a danger to those who feel powerless, right? Because of how powerful we could be. Now, that's why you have to be aware that this is a realm that exists, so that if people outside of you are acting lower frequency, you have to just simply remove yourself from them. You don't have to cut them off. Perhaps the lower frequencies are trying to like get close to you, and because you're not budging, they're finding people around you to budge on or budge with, to kind of like start some shit with you. So this is something I've also realized, where I'm like, yo, why is someone always trying to start something with me? And it's sometimes it really is because of the threat that you bring, because of how your Mars is marinated in this spiritual house. You present yourself as a threat to others without doing anything. And it's important to know you did nothing, but your spirit is triggering other people's spirits who are not doing the inner work. Okay? So you have to see it this way and not take it personal, not react, remove yourself. And if you have to say a little 2 cents, you say it. But sometimes your best bet is to just keep it moving and let people lay in the bed that they made for themselves. It's not for you to lay in, you know what I mean? You have to let them lay in it and just deal with the consequences that they brought onto themselves. You do not have to save everyone if they're not willing to look out for you. And another thing I realize is that, you don't have to be overly forgiving to people's actions, because you understand that, lower frequencies are, people are susceptible to them. Yes, you can be understanding, but also there comes a point where, you got to stop certain things. And if a person's not doing the inner work to not always blow up on you, then you have to probably just keep them away, distance themselves, or just not talk to them anymore. Why? Because it's going to keep you from the spiritual work you're here to do. And I'm telling you right now, what you're here to do is so big and powerful that it's scary to other low frequencies, that they're trying to tap into other people who don't set intentions. Not that these people are low frequency, is that they're not setting an intention. So an intention in the spiritual realm, in turn, is set, affecting you and how you operate. This is why isolation is crucial. And why starting your day and keeping it for yourself is important, because you do not need to marinate in anyone else's spiritual gunk. It's not something you see, it's something you feel. Yours is in the clear because you have the planet of Mars taking action in the unconsciousness, the subconscious, unconscious, Neptune, realm of Pisces, fifth dimension. You know what I mean? So you may maybe have a hard time hitting the gym the same way, or, taking that physical action. However, if you lean on what maybe hitting the gym will spiritually mean for you, you'll see motivation shit out of nowhere. And out of nowhere, you'll have the willpower that you wouldn't be able to grant yourself had you still compared how you move to other people and how they move. It would keep you in more depression, right? In more of a depressional state. Whereas if you just kind of lean on spirituality, the motivation received from spirituality and setting the intention, I would say affirmations are amazing for this house or any 12th house placement. Affirmations. It allows you to set an intention prior, because the 12th house is going to make you flow, and whatever planet is in the 12th house is just going to flow. So you need to set that intention prior so that you can flow without having to deal with major consequences. Not that they won't come about. They may just not be as intense and severe because you kind of foresaw everything you're kind of experiencing and kind of exercising that part of the brain. Just kind of if I do this, what that look like? Yep, I want that. Manifesting with more intention rather than, I didn't know that this was going to happen. Not fathoming cause and effects from your decision making can in turn disappoint you a little too much, to the point your frequency will be really low, and then you will be targeted by the spiritual realm to take very low frequency action. Anyway, guys, my fellow Gawds, I love you. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if it touched you and resonated with you. My name is Gawd. This is the Gawd Cafe. Check out my music in the description if you're interested in seeing more from me. Anyway, until next time.